in Split, James played, I think on camera he played 9 characters, and we referenced the 23 characters on the computer screen. And for Glass, we fleshed out every single character, and there's 24 with the Beast. So we fleshed out every single one, we shot every single one, and not all of them made it into the movie, but 20 did. So he does 20 personalities in Glass, which is, I mean, astonishing. I was trying so hard to get all 23 in, but I couldn't do it.
I think we see 20 in this film.
Any particular one that you can give us a preview of, or that you're excited for the world to meet?
There's one character actually who I loved, who, is it Percival? Can't remember his name now. It's been a while, sorry guys. He's only in it for like 2 seconds, but he sees the world from a third person, and as if he's narrating in the third person. And that's how he makes sense of the world. And I'd love to just exploring that for a little second.
You know, it's overwhelming to be on set and have these world-class actors who are so iconic in cinema come and play these characters. But because I'm the writer-director, there's a very specific thing I'm trying to get. And I always talk to them in terms of that character. I never talk to them in, hey, you know, in hypotheticals, we're talking about Elijah, we're talking about Kevin or Patricia or David, and I'm saying David thinks like this. I don't think he would go because David would feel like that. The way you did that performance made David too angry. Whatever, however, we'd always talk through the character, protect the character is where all we're coming from, and we're all conjuring this thing to life, you know, the actors and I. And I take that process very seriously, and they take it very seriously.
I've been watching Bruce Willis since Moonlighting, you know, and just like he's been on my TV, in my theaters for all that time, being this just hero, this total icon, you know, getting to work with that and that kind of, that sort of, that iconic statuesque quality that he has, where it's like he does so little and it's just so powerful. It was amazing to be around. Then marry that with the kind of mayhem that I'm doing and all the kind of like cartwheels and backflips and all that kind of stuff. And then on the other side of that, you've got Samuel L. Jackson just nailing everything with a kind of pinpoint precision and just verbal dexterity, which is amazing to be around. And then on top of that, you get Sarah Paulson, who's got this amazingly sort of emotional, expressive vulnerability throughout the whole thing. And you know, she's potentially the antagonist, and she's playing that with vulnerability. So there's so much interesting work and so much different work coming from the 4 actors that are in those therapy scenes, that are in those moments. It's amazing to be part of that. It's a privilege to be a part of that.
You've added another element to this film, Sarah Paulson's character, Dr. Ellie Staple.
That's correct.
What does she bring to this sort of interesting power and character dynamic?
Yeah, you know, I wanted to make sure that in each movie there was a powerful new language, a powerful new element in it. And in Glass, the new element is Sarah Paulson. So I was thinking about who could be the psychiatrist, who could spar with these guys, who could challenge these guys, both as actors, but on camera, the energy, the kind of buoyancy and entertainment value, the intelligence, the craft that she could challenge them. And because for me, my action sequences in my comic book movie are the dialogue scenes. They're kind of like the sizzle of how they're fighting each other. And so who could battle them all? And I felt like Sarah was the perfect person to lock her in the room with and see if Sam could out-talk her, or she could outthink, you know, Bruce, or, you know, all of those things that as the duels go on between them all. And she could show the compassion of meeting all the different personalities and try to help these guys.
Dr. Ellie Staple is the newest addition to this universe. And I feel incredibly honored to be part of it, because I don't know if you know, but it's sort of an iconic universe to all of a sudden find yourself involved with. I play a psychiatrist who specializes in studying those individuals who believe they are either superhuman or superheroes, and particularly dealing with the idea of delusion of grandeur. Working with Knight was really extraordinary, mostly because it felt like being with a member of my own family. simply because, and by my own family I mean me, I'm an incredibly controlling, exacting kind of person by nature, and to me it's all in the details, and I really love that kind of way of working. And so for me it was very relaxing actually to be working with someone who had something so specific in mind that it wasn't up to me to come up with 3 different ways to play the scene. Knight knew exactly how he wanted and what he needed and what he was going to be shooting. I remember shooting a scene one day where I was delivering a piece of information to another character, and it was a long speech, and he shot it starting on my face and then hinged the camera over to the person I was speaking to and then stayed with that character the entire time. And I kept thinking, like, dude, this is a big speech that I have, and I think you should be right here. And I asked him what was the thinking, and he said, the audience is going to care. They are going to want to see the person to whom you're delivering this information, what their response is. The information you're giving to them, they want to see how it affects this person. And I thought, Knight knows exactly what the audience wants, and it's all purposeful. He's not, nothing you see up there is by happenstance. It's really, really premeditated and carefully thought out from a story perspective. And so I have nothing but respect for that. So
when we got him, he was fresh off of, the success of, I See Dead People. And all of a sudden, he got a little nicked with this movie, but this movie has an enduring kind of cult following that's amazing. But, he got banged around between those movies and Split. And it's one of those things that you either learn from or you keep trying to impose your will on something that's just not going to bend to you. And I think he's learned how to nuance what he does with what is sort of popular in terms of what storytelling actually is.
What was it like to return to the character of Elijah for Glass?
It's kind of wondrous for me to have a guy 14 years later who's kind of, everybody thinks one thing's going on with him, but he has his own agenda as usual. He's been quietly studying, plotting, planning, paying attention to the world outside in an interesting way so that he knows what David is doing. He knows who Mr. Crumb is, so when they show up, he has a very good idea of what he wants to do with these guys. And Elijah is as sharp as he's always been, and having fun playing with the people inside that place.
He's not going to meet his match in this film?
I don't think so. There are a lot of different things, that we could talk about that would jeopardize whatever's going on in the film, but he's still the sharpest knife in the drawer.
What is the official title for this universe or series? I've seen some people say it's the East Rail 177 series. What do you call it?
I definitely have heard people call it that, the East Rail 177 series, which is really cool. I think very interesting and granular in a beautiful way. And when you see all 3, it even makes it's more appropriate. So that's all I'll say. So that's a really beautiful idea of it. I don't know, because I really wanted them to be standalones that are also, commenting on each other, but that you could watch each of them by themselves. So they each have their distinct tone.